King James' name was James Charles Stewart. All right? He was born June 19th in Edinburgh Castle in Scotland. Oh, don't be surprised. I know when you look at the news and look at TV and you see Scotland and England, you think it's all white people, don't you? You've been bamboozled. See, when you're in a box if you're in a slave mentality and haven't been anywhere, they can control your perception of the world by showing you Scotland and never showing you black people. There's millions of black people all over the world and in England, and was there before the slave trade. Okay? So don't be surprised when you hear black people in Scotland. That's like oil and water. That doesn't sound right. Black people should be in Africa, right? Mm-hmm. That's how you have been programmed. That's part of your program. When you think black, you think Africa. They want you to think that. Okay? How did these black people get in England and rule in England? Nature Knows No Color Line have coats of arms with Nobility by J.A. Rogers, showing black people of nobility ruling in Europe. Why? Because after Rome fell, after Septimius Severus and Pescennius Niger, a black man, took over the hierarchy of England, the black people ruled during the Dark Ages. Judah was set up again over in Europe. And that's why the name of England is called England, which means angel's land. The original Anglo-Saxons, when you translate the word Anglo-Saxon, it means the angelic sons of Isaac. Who are the sons of Isaac? Jacob. Yes, we ruled Europe. While white people were there too. They had their little provinces which they ruled, but we were nobility in England. And that's why when you look at some of the old 1700 dresses of them coming to America, you see nobility or people of stature, Caucasian women, wearing bells under their dress. Showing them they had corsets on their waist and had bells under their dress to show a big derriere, or mimicking the black women who were ruling nobility in England. So that's why they had the bells under their dress, to mimic the black woman's shape. Okay, you didn't know this, did you? Okay, see, but you've been programmed. All right, now let's go back to it. His name was James Charles Stewart. All right, born June 19th in Edinburgh Castle in Scotland. See, we got books. All right, we're not going to go for what they tell us. All right, we've researched. All right. He was born to Mary Queen of Scots, Lord Darnley, in 1566. Oh yeah, his mother was black too. Lighter skin, but black. His father was murdered a year later after his birth in 1567. This led to King James, or the young Prince James, being crowned the King of Scotland while he was only 13 months old. He was 1 year old and 1 month when he was already anointed king after the untimely death of his father. All right? He was at this time crowned James VI of Scotland at the age of 12. Why? Because under the Jew law, 12 was when you go to the temple of the priest to be anointed as a man. That's why I tell you, in Christ, when he was 12, they went up to Jerusalem. Why? He had to anoint him under the Jew law. So yeah, King James was not only black, oh yeah, he was a Jew. At the age of 12, hold it, let me look at that. Look at that clearly. Can't get Prince Charles out of that, can you? Look at that there. They didn't want you to know. That's why they got fusion centers. Let's go back to this here. He was at this time crowned James VI of Scotland at the age of 12, and he assumed power over the throne. Now, from the time of his youth, James was tutored in the languages of Greek, Latin, French, Italian, and Spanish. He was also a well-learned historian in his own right. Now, it also was important to mention that he was learned in arithmetic, cosmography, the study of maps, along with many other areas of learning. So they don't want you to know that not only are you noble, you have the propensity to be highly educated and rule. See, they could not teach this to slaves that were on the other side of the Atlantic. If these slaves who went into America, who was enslaved there, knew that at the same time that black people were ruling, that would change their perception of hope. And know that being a slave is not, you don't have to be in a slave mentality. You can actually operate and run the world like you once did. Now, follow me here. He was learning cosmography, the study of maps, along with many other areas of learning. All right. Now, after ruling Scotland for 36 years, King James, a black man, became the first ever king to rule over both England and Scotland when he became King of England in the year 1603. That's why he's called King James the Sixth and the First. The sixth of Scott, the first of England. Now, while in Scotland, he was called King James the Sixth. That was due to the fact that he ascended to each of these thrones at two different time periods. Now, while there were already 5 James that ruled prior to him, he became the first ruler over England. Now, he was the first king to sit on 3 different thrones at once. Now, check this out. Not only did he sit on England, he also sat on the thrones of Scotland and Ireland. I know when you think of these countries, you think of white Caucasians. While white Caucasians lived in the land, black people ruled in great number too, mind you. And I don't think that that's not possible. Sitting in a country right now, if you're in America, there's many white people in America, but you can have a black person ruling, as you have a black person in a rulership seat, even though it's ceremonial, nonetheless, it's a rulership seat with Barack Obama. All right? But at this time, King James, not unlike today, was ruling from the throne with no powers or European influence or Roman influence in his cabinet or to control his goings. Why? Because King James was protecting Zion in his rule, during his rule. And he was fighting against the Roman Catholic Church. I'm going to get into that in a moment. He was the first king to sit on 3 thrones at once. So this is not your everyday so-called black man that's uneducated. All right? You're uneducated because they would like to have it so. But going back to King James. England, Scotland, and Ireland. He was responsible for uniting these 3 countries into what is called Great Britain today. Okay? Before this time, before it was called England, it was called, in ancient times, Britannica. Now, you would believe that an accomplishment as great as this would be taught in your modern history. Now, if the Roman Catholic wanted you to really come back to the Bible, black people, and embrace this word, wouldn't they promote such a great man with such a great work, this highly educated black man of nobility? No, they want you to believe that he was a white homosexual that had sex with his mother. More, claiming, now, he was also responsible for calling a decree for the translation of the Old and New Testament out of the original Hebrew and Greek tongues. Now, this translation is known today as the King James Version 1611 Bible, and it is the most accurate translation of the Bible. Now, before I go there, Lloyd, I need you to do me a favor, right? Mm-hmm. I need you to go over there real quick and grab that King James in the bond. Mm-hmm. That big book for me? Yeah. Grab that for me real quick, please. Now, while he gets the book, because I want to show you this is important because this book came from England itself, and I want you to see this. And especially for all the so-called Christian pastors out there who didn't do this research. A matter of fact, black pastors or any pastor for that matter, that's teaching in the poor neighborhoods. Okay? If you're teaching in the poor neighborhoods, brothers and sisters, then this is the information that you should use to empower our people. What greater way could you pull our people out of their spiritual or religious coma? What greater way, if you're trying to lead them back to the Bible, to give them proof that their people had a hand in its creation? What greater way? And that's why our people have been a prey to Muslims, Buddhists, and all these others, because they was able to lie on King James. Now, I had a lawyer come grab this, and I'd like to thank the sisters who actually donated this book in England, and may the Most High have grace on them. This actually came from Oxford University. See that? This is proof here. Especially for you black preachers out there. Oxford University. And it got the signet, and here's your original King James that was translated. The Holy Bible concerning the Old and New Testament out of the ancient, what you would call Quaker English. In this original translation, what do we have here? Oh, you would never guess, pastors and preachers. The King James Apocrypha. See that word there? Apocrypha. See that? Look on your screen. You see that word Apocrypha there? To show you that the King James Apocrypha, the 14 books, were a part of the original translation. But they'll never tell the black churches. They'll never tell the churches this, because why? In the Apocrypha, it mentions the Europeans putting up a false image of Christ and using pagan rites to destroy God's people and teach a new religion on earth. It also teaches about the 10 tribes that left Israel, the northern kingdom, in 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, of how the North American Indians, all the tribes that were over there in the New World when the Europeans got there, but they were from the lost tribes of Israel. So they took the book out and they lied to the ministers and made them believe that the Apocrypha was not spiritually inspired, so they had to take it out. No, it had nothing to do with that. It's very spiritually inspired and prophetic in content. They lied to you to keep you from the book so that you would not identify the true people of God and uphold the impostors over there in Palestine as the children of Israel. See, we got the proof. King James was a black Jew. Now that I have his book in front of me to show you we have proof, and if you don't believe it, research it yourself. What are you going to do now that you know the truth? Are you going to take this information and proclaim truth throughout the earth, or will you continue in the lie that have been perpetrated amongst our people? And I'm saying black, white people, no matter what color you are, alike, spread the truth. It's in front of you. Now, speaking to pastors and preachers and teachers who are not of our color, who are of different persuasion, if you deny this information because you claim color don't matter, you are part of the conspiracy. Because color does matter. Why? Because they lied to our people and claimed that King James was a white homosexual. And that had a lasting impression on how a lot of our people viewed the Bible. So it did matter. If you have people who have done things to you at this time when the information was coming out, you had people water hosing our people, Jim Crow laws, racial tension. So you had a demographic of people